They come out here to teach our people so they can know the commandments. All right? Give me Hosea chapter 10 and 12. All right? Hosea chapter 10 and 12. Book of Hosea, chapter 10, verse 12. Sow to yourself in righteousness. You have to sow righteousness. Righteousness is what? Close. Pretty much. Go to Psalms 119:72. Read it again from the top. Sow to yourselves in righteousness. You have to sow into yourselves righteousness. Go on. Reap in mercy. Reap in mercy. Read. Break up your fallow ground. Go on. For it is time to seek the Lord. What did the Lord say? For it is time to seek the Lord. It's time to seek the Lord. Are you not going to find no other solution in this society for your people instead of returning back to the Lord? We don't even know the cause of everything that we go through. All the oppression is a direct result of us breaking the laws and commandments. The oppression, being in the ghettos, being shot and killed by the police daily, being locked up in prison like this, fathers leaving the kids, not having your own businesses, your own military, your own economy. Those are direct results of us not keeping the commandments. So it's time to sow in righteousness. Bring it up. Psalm chapter 119.
Psalm chapter 119, verse 172.
Right?
My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness.
All the commandments of the Bible are righteousness. Alright, so you have to keep the commandments. You're going to bring our commandments up according to the Bible. Alright, that y'all have to keep as Israelites. Alright, y'all with me? It makes sense? Alright? Bring it up. Bring us some commandments for the Israelites out there.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7.
Here are some commandments.
And a swine.
Swine is what? Pork, right? Go on.
Though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not cud. He is unclean to you.
He is what?
He is unclean to you.
You hear that? Pig is unclean to us. We can't eat that. Go on.
Of their flesh shall he not eat.
And what else?
And of their carcass shall he not touch.
Go on.
They are unclean to you.
They are unclean to you. So that's one commandment we got to keep. All right? Now, what would happen if we broke that commandment? What do you think happened to us if we broke that commandment? All right, bring it up. Go to Deuteronomy 28:15. Just for pork. We're going to deal with pork. Right? There's plenty of commandments. In the Bible, there's more than 10 commandments. Right?
The book of Deuteronomy.
There's over 613 commandments. All right? Bring that up.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
If you don't listen to God,
to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which are commanded this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
then the curses will happen to us if we don't keep God's commandments. One of the commandments we read was that you can't even touch the pork or eat it. So what is one of the consequences or one of the curses that will happen to us for not keeping the commandments? Bring out a curse.
Curse shall that be in the city, and curse shall that be in the field.
Right, we were cursed in the city. We still curse in these cities that we live in. Chicago, look how we live in Chicago, Baltimore, New York. Whatever city you go to, the Israelites are being at the bottom of society. Last hired, first fired. Right, you locked up in the damn prison system, all up in the ghettos, you all up in the projects, struggling to make a living for yourself because we broke the commandments. So that's being cursed in the city. And we were cursed in the field. What does that sound like? Slavery. We're working in the field. Literally working in the field. Picking cotton or whatever the so-called white man forced you to do. All right, in the field. These are curses found in Deuteronomy chapter 28. When you read this chapter, these are curses to prove who the Israelites are in the last days. Because contrary to what this world teaches, God has a chosen people. He didn't choose everybody. You had over 7 billion people on the planet and all of these different races and ethnicities and nationalities, but God has one chosen people, which is us, and we were the people given the commandments. All right, give me Joel chapter 2 and 27. You reading Leviticus? Hold on, we're going to go to Joel chapter 2 and 27.
Look at Joel chapter 2, verse 27.
Go on.
And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
I am in the midst of Israel. This is the Lord speaking. He's in the midst of the Israelites. Go on.
And that I am Yahweh your God, and none else.
What?
And none else.
That I'm your God and none else. When Moses delivered the people out of Egypt, he didn't take everybody. He took one people. When the Lord sent Yahweh Shai, who you call Jesus Christ, to die for the sins of the people, he died for the Israelites. When you read about King David or King Solomon or a righteous woman like Esther or Mary of Judah, those are all Israelites according to the Bible. Everybody in this book are Israelites of importance. All right? It's not a book of religion. It's not a book of white Jesus and white supremacy and Christianity, how the world teaches. It's a book of laws, records, and prophecy and history for one nation of people. This is your book. It just has so-called Black History Month over. Give me Sirach 24 and 23. 2 months ago. And all they teach you is what? Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. You learn about the same people over and over, but your true history is in the Bible. And they didn't even know who they were. Or you had Marcus Garvey trying to take us back to Africa. We're not African. Africans sold Israelites into slavery to the so-called white man. Two different nations of people. Just because you have that brown skin like we all have, don't make you Africans. We can go through all of that and prove it. Bring it up.
Book of Sirach, chapter 24, verse 23.
So here's your history that was taken away from you.
All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God.
So this entire book, so let me hold this book. Sorry. Read that again.
All these things.
All these pages, all these things
are in the book of the covenant of the Most High God.
This is the book of the covenant of the Most High God. God, the God of Israel, whose name is Yahweh, his contract is within his book. And the contract was given with the Israelites. You keep the commandments and you'll live. You break the commandments and you'll be cursed. Our people broke the contract. We broke the covenant. We didn't do anything that was in this book. Even to this day, we don't keep the Sabbath day. We eat pork. Our men out of order. We killing each other. We still breaking the contract. In order to get peace for your nationality, you gotta uphold your end of the contract by keeping the commandments. All right, go on.
Even the law.
Even the what?
Even the law.
Even the law. Right? We know the so-called white man's law and all of his statutes, but we don't know any laws of the Bible. We don't even care. You have to keep these commandments in the Bible. Go on.
Which Moses commanded for an inheritance.
For what?
For an inheritance.
For an inheritance and a heritage. Go on.
Unto the congregations of Jacob.
So this law was given to us as a people, and we got to keep these commandments in these last days. According to the Bible, America's going to be destroyed in World War III. This is known as Babylon the Great, and this country is falling, whether you know it or not. World War III is escalating, racial tension is escalating, his economy is collapsing, and this is Bible prophecy. So as the Lord is bringing down his kingdom, he's waking up his people. Give me Daniel chapter 2 and 44. All right, our job is to wake y'all up. We gotta liberate y'all mind. All right, because y'all think y'all may call yourself black, or black is a color out of a crayon box. There's no nationality called black. Black, that's a color. African American was invented in the 1980s. Those are two last names of two different Europeans. Africa comes from the Roman man, Leo Scipio's Africanus. He fought Carthage in the Hannibal in the Punic Wars, took down Carthage, named that entire continent after himself. That's where Africa comes from. Right, hold on, brother, real quick. Then America comes from another white man, America's best people, an Italian map maker. All right, bring that up. So we gotta Daniel. Hold on, Sloppy. We gotta bring that up. So we gotta wake up and return back to who we are, man. Bring it up.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 49 and verse 11.
Right.
Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
It says their inward thought, meaning the nation of people, is Esau, the so-called white man. They have a biblical nationality too. They're not white. If you was to get a so-called white man up here, they're not white. Right? In the Bible, they're known as Edom. Right? Everybody has a nationality. Edomites. Right? Because they're red. They're pink and red. Now you have the Lord had him walk up behind you, so you can see that he's pink and red. The word he matches. They call them rednecks. Right? Because they're red, they're known as Edom. Everybody on the earth has a biblical nationality. He don't want nobody to know their nationality, so he's switched up everything to cause confusion and assimilated everybody. So read it again from the top.
Psalms chapter 49 and verse 11.
Go on.
Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
Right, and their pride, they think that their kingdom's going to rule forever. Go on.
And their dwelling places to all generations.
Read.
They call their lands after their own names.
They do what?
They call their lands after their own names.
Who else calls lands after their own names? What is America named after? The so-called white man. What is Baltimore named after? Lord Baltimore, so-called white man.
Washington.
Maryland, Washington, Africa. All of these places on the earth are named after the so-called white man. He put his name on you. You have the last names of the so-called white man. All right, not necessarily y'all, but our people. All right, Johnson, what is Jenkins, Smith, Anderson, Lynch, all of that, Williams. He put his name on us. All right. What's your question, brother?
My question is, can y'all shed more light on the fact that when you say law, statutes, and commandments, people seem to get it mixed up. That they say, oh, well, that's the old law, but we're justified by faith in Galatians chapter 3.
Right.
That says we're no longer justified by the law. because any man that returns to the law will die with the law.
Right.
People fail to realize what law, statutes, and commandments they're supposed to follow.
Right.
For an example, sacrifices are no longer accepted because Jesus was a Yeshua HaMashiach was the sacrificial lamb.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So people out here tend to say, well, you want us to follow law, statutes, and commandments, but ain't that doing what the old law told us to do?
We'll touch on it.
New covenant?
We're going to touch on it. All right, bring it up.
This is the book of James, chapter 2, verse 26.
Right.
For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also.
So what?
Faith without works is dead also.
A lot of people say I believe in God, right? I go to church, right? I pray, right? I pray over my food. God is good. Let him thank me for this food, right? Everybody believe in the Lord, but you have to have works to back it up. Your works are keeping the commandments. They go hand in hand. All right, you have your faith, but you have to show your faith by your works. Now, the brother was talking about how people say that you don't have to keep any commandments anymore. Because we under grace, now you can do what you want to do. Grace is a time period for you to get your spirit right and seek the Lord before the destruction comes. Let me Titus 2 and 11 real quick. We're going to get into it. Titus chapter 2 and 11. Let's say your rent is due, right? Your rent is due on the first. What happens if you can't pay your rent on the first? Well, I mean, not necessarily you don't get kicked out.
You get a grace period.
You get a grace period, right? Okay, look, we're going to give you to the 5th. If we don't give you to the 5th, we may give you to the 12th. Right? After that grace period run out, you're going to be kicked out. Right? So the grace period is time for you to stack up your money. You may have to get another job. You may have to hit up some family members to get some money to pay your rent. This is spiritual grace to get your spirit right before the destruction comes. Bring that up. What I call
Titus 2 and 11. This is the book of Titus, chapter 2 and verse 11.
Go on.
For the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men.
Right, the grace hath appeared to all the Israelite men that believe in Yahweh Shah. Go on.
Teaching us
What
that
does grace do?
teaching us
That what?
that denying ungodly and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world.
So grace teaches you to deny ungodliness, worldly lust, the sins of this world. You have to live soberly and righteously in this present world. Meaning right now, grace teaches you to keep the commandments, right? And live without sin, to get your spirit right. All right, so don't let anybody lie to you and say, look, we under grace, we have to do what we want to do. Give me Romans 6 and 1. All right, Romans chapter 6 and 1. So grace is right now. Everybody right now, give me 2nd Ezra 7 and 19. Everybody right now has a time to get themselves right. So everybody is hearing the word too. Nobody can say, and when y'all walk away, y'all can't say y'all didn't have a chance to hear the truth. These people coming up here, they can't say they didn't have a chance. Everybody up here walking the earth, no one has an excuse saying they didn't have a chance to hear the word of the Lord. For every kingdom falls and every nation is destroyed, the Lord sends who out there? His servants, the prophets, to declare the judgment to the Lord. Whether people listen, whether they not, it's on them. We just washing our hands from the blood. Our job is to warn you. Give me Ezekiel 3 and 17. If you don't listen, it's on you. Bring it up.
Book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 1.
Go on.
What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin, that grace may abound?
Go on.
God forbid.
What the Lord say?
God forbid.
So you can't just say, well, look, I'm under grace. Let me just stay in sin. The Lord said no. That's what God forbid means. Read on.
How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein?
Right, go to 23. Chapter 23.
Bring it out.
All right, Romans chapter 6 and 23.
Verse 23. For the wages of sin is death.
What did the Lord say?
For the wages of sin is death.
The wages of sin is death. If you're doing the works of sin, you're going to get destroyed. All right, so you have to take this grace very serious as a time period to get yourself right. Hey, the Lord, give me 1 Thessalonians 5 and 1. Bring that up.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17.
Bring it out.
Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel.
Go on.
Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me.
And give them what?
Give them warning from me.
Our job is to give you warning. Back in the ancient world, if we all took a time machine 4,000 years ago in Jerusalem, you see these tall buildings? You would have watchmen sit upon these buildings that will warn the people of the destruction that's coming. All right? And our job is to let you know that World War III is coming, that martial law is coming. As the so-called white man got guillotines, FEMA grants, and he's coming to make a complete genocide of the Israelite man, woman, and child. All right, go on.
Verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand.
So if we don't come out here and tell you about the destruction that's coming, you going to die, and we going to be held accountable because we didn't come out here and warn you. Like if that's his dog and burglars breaking in the house, if the dog will warn him, he going to get mad. Like, hold on now, look, man, I trained you for this, I paid good money for this dog, and you're not doing your job. You're going to go back to the person like, damn, I need my money back. All right, you going to say something? All right, go on. What else is that? 1 Thessalonians 5:1.
Book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 1.
Right.
But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you.
Go on.
For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
Read that again. That the day of the what?
That the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
The Lord is coming to cause destruction like a thief in the night. You don't know when a thief is going to break in your house. You caught off guard. You caught slipping. You unaware. That's how the Lord is coming back to destroy this place. At any moment, any minute and second, all hell could break loose in this society. This music is going to stop. People are going to be scrambling and running and trying to find safety and shelter. That's how the destruction is coming. So it's very important to take this grace period serious to get yourself right and keep the commandments. Y'all can walk away from it and say, well, I don't know, man. I really don't know. You know, I'm going to have to look into it. You'll go about it and go one ear and not the other. It's very important to take this seriously, because the Lord got y'all up here for a reason. He can have everybody up here listening. The Lord controls all things. All right? Go on where you left off.
Verse 19.
I just wanted to ask one quick question.
Hold on, bro. Let me finish this real quick.
Verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety,
Then what?
then suddenly destruction
Then
cometh.
what?
Then suddenly destruction cometh
Go on.
upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
You hear that? What does that mean?
Read one more time. One more time for the people in the back.
For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
What does that mean?
All right, when people say peace and safety, when they think it's okay and everything is going smooth, see, people are not worried about anything. Nobody's worried about any destruction coming. Nobody thinks anything is going to happen to them, right? They at the harbor, they with their family, they out to eat, they drinking, they buying, they selling. They thinking they going home at the end of the night and they going to go home and do the same thing over and over again. The Lord said when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them. You're not going to escape. Right? Why aren't you going to escape? Because you had a chance to hear the words of the Lord. So y'all are Israelites and y'all got to repent. Y'all got to return back to Yahweh, which is the real name of God, and his name is his son named Yahweh Shah. You got to keep the laws and the commandments. All right, bring us some more commandments.
Book of Leviticus chapter 19, verse 27. Ye shall not round the corners of your head.
You hear that? You can't shave your head bald if you're a man. No Charles Barkley. You can't be like Michael Jordan. Man, like you have that hair in your head, that's a commandment. You keeping that. All right, because God has woolly hair. His son Yahweh Shai has that woolly hair. All right, going, so no shaving your head bald. Read on.
Neither shalt thou marry the corners of thy beard.
You can't destroy your beard. So I have my beard like this, I can't cut it down and just keep a goatee or a chin strap or keep this or just keep that. Or you can't destroy your natural beard line. That's why all of the brothers up here, when they can grow their beards up. Why? Right, that's a commandment in the Bible. All right? So we got to keep these commandments. And it's not hard to keep the commandments. What's so hard about growing your beard up? All right, that's a simple one. Go on.
Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead.
You can't sit there and cut yourself. All right, go on.
Nor print any marks upon you.
Nor what?
Nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord Yahweh.
No tattoos. Right? If you got tattoos, brothers up here had tattoos before they knew the commandment, they had to repent and not get anymore. Alright? When you hear these commandments, you find out that you were in sin, you return back to the Lord by confessing that sin and keeping the commandment as an Israelite. That's the only way to get the kingdom, by your belief in the Lord and keeping the commandments. Nobody else not going to make it. Everybody else is going to be burnt up or fired. Alright? And that's the plain truth. It's plain and simple. Alright? Give me Exodus 20 and 8. So these are commandments we got to keep. I bring one out for the sister real quick. Deuteronomy 22. The book of Exodus. Salaki, bring out Deuteronomy 22 first. I'll bring it up. All right, Deuteronomy 22:5.
This is the book of Deuteronomy.
This for you right here, sister. And for you, sister. This for you. This commandment in the Bible.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20 and verse 5.
Right, and for men too. Go on.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
Let's read that again.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 5.
Right.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So what do women wear that only belongs to men? What is that talking about? What are you talking about? All right, brother, you know? You don't know? You said what, brother? You gotta say that a little louder for them.
Pants.
Yeah, you got it. All right, pants. What? And then what do men wear sometimes in the society that they shouldn't be wearing? It pertains to women. Dresses, skirts, right? So the man, you can't walk around with a dress or a skirt. Women, you're supposed to put modest apparel on, modest skirts and dresses.
That,
all right? And you know what that? They ain't want to hear that. Go on. For all that what?
For all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
There you have it, brother. And sister, you got to keep that commandment. All right? In this society, you can be a transgender. You can be a transvestite. You can be anybody you want to be. But the Lord said you got to keep the commandments and live. So you got to keep the commandments, brother. All right? Sister got to wear a dress and modest apparel. All right? You already growing your beard out. You already growing your hair out. That's just, I don't know about your diet. You can't eat no pork. You can't eat no shellfish either. All right? Y'all got to return back to the Lord. Y'all got to get your spirit right.
Hey, brother, man. I appreciate everything.
All right, brother. Y'all Israelites. Y'all got to repent and keep the commandments. All right? Brother, you got a question?
Well, you already spoke about the hair situation, but I was saying, we can shape up our hair, like cut our hair, our top hair?
Yeah, you can keep it low. I got a low haircut, but I won't shave my head bald. Or I won't shave my beard, the corners of my beard down.
You can keep it lined up.
Yeah, you can keep it trimmed up and all of that. Right. Don't cut into your natural beard line. All right? Your beard grow this thick, don't cut it down like this. All right?
So this part's the corners?
Yeah. Keep it. You see how does your beard grow up there?
Sometimes, but like only partially, like they can't connect though. Like it'll come down to right there, and then you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you know, you got you can't, you know, whatever you got. Nah. Yeah, you got to, you know, like your beard line look like it's growing right there. All right, so you good? Yeah,
keep it right there.
All right. Any other questions? Questions?
Somebody told me that Levitical law only relates to priests, so things like eating pork and things like that was only for the Levite tribe. And then during the Babylonian exile, all the Jews began to follow those rules. Do you believe that Levitical law applies to everyone, such as not eating pork, or just the Levites?
All right, go to Psalm 147, 19. Give me Romans 9 and 4 first. All right, Romans chapter 9 and 4. Yeah, I never heard that one. Whoever told you that, they went off. Romans 9 and 4.
Romans chapter 9 and verse 4.
Go on.
Who are Israelites?
Who are what?
Who are Israelites?
Who are just Levites?
Who are Israelites?
Who are just priests?
Who are Israelites?
All 12 tribes who are Israelites. Let's see what pertains to the Israelites. Go on.
To who pertaineth the adoption?
The adoption is the Messiah dying on the cross and adopting the Israelites back under the mercy of the Heavenly Father. Go on.
And the glory.
And the glory is everything that comes with the kingdom of heaven. From servants and slaves to gold to riches to wealth to wisdom to immortality. That's the glory. Read on.
And the covenants.
The covenants, the old covenant was given to us backed off a sacrificial law. The new covenant through the blood of Yahweh Shah was given to us. And we have the covenant of circumcision given through Abraham's seed all the way to Jacob. All those pertain to us. What else?
And the giving of the law.
And what?
And the giving of the law.
So you hear the giving of the law pertains to the Israelites, not just Levi.
No, I mean like things like specific, like not eating pork.
Right, dog. That's part of the law. That's the law right there. That's the dietary form of the law. All right? That's the dietary law when you read Leviticus chapter 11, Deuteronomy 14. That's the dietary law, and that pertains to the Israelites.
So all Israelites.
All Israelites have to keep that commandment. Yeah, there are certain commandments that the priests only did, like Ezra brought out, when it came to going into the temple and being porters and the incense burners and things
Or
like that.
like not touching dead people, or like.
No, that pertains to the Israelites. You got to go through and read the law, and certain laws pertain only to the priesthood. All right? When it came to doing sacrifices, things of that nature. All right?
You gotta know how to decipher
Yeah.
between the two.
Right, so we encourage you to read the book of Leviticus. We will run out of time going through all of the commandments that only pertain to the priests, right? The porters and the different things like that. All right, but when it comes to even eating pork, that's a commandment that was given to all the Israelites. The beard was given to all Israelites. All right, it was reinforced to the priests. Go to Leviticus 21 and 5. We read it in Leviticus 19, but we're going to show it how the Lord reinforced it for the priests.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 21, verse 5.
Come hear the word.
They shall.
All praise. Come hear the word, brothers. Go on.
They shall not make baldness upon their head.
Don't make baldness upon your head. Now this is talking about the priests when you read this chapter. But this same thing applies to the Israelites in Leviticus 19. Go on.
Neither shalt thou shave off the corner of thy beard.
There you have it. Same thing. All right. So that law was given as a universal law to all of Israel. All right. Any other questions? Questions, brothers? None? All right, go back to 1 Thessalonians 5 and 2. All right, got the fringes out, brother. All praises. All praises to the Lord.
The book of 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 2.
All right, you hear that? Brother got to get fringes. That's a commandment. All right, the brothers got fringes. You got to keep the commandments. All right, can't take it lightly. You got to keep the law. All right, the brother watching YouTube all the time got to come here and Come Yasha Allah means rise. Right, right, rise. Stand upon your feet. Go on.
For yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Verse 3, chapter 5 of 1 Thessalonians. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child.
And what?
And they shall not escape.
And they shall not escape. Nobody on the earth is going to escape the wrath and mercy of Yahweh. Give me Zephaniah 1:14. All right, Zephaniah chapter 1 and 14. You hear that, sister? Destruction is coming to this place. All right, what you got to do?
Be saved.
How do you be saved?
Accept Jesus Christ as your follower and your Savior.
What else you got to do?
Be baptized.
Come hear the word, sister.
Learn so you can teach a little man.
Come hear the word. Give me Romans 10 and 7. All praise. There you go, sister. Came to hear the word. Romans chapter 10 and 7.
Romans chapter 10, verse 7.
Right?
Or who shall descend into the deep, that is to bring up Christ again from the dead?
Go on.
But what saith it? The word is nigh thee, even in thy mouth.
Right, the word is even in your mouth. Go on.
And in thy heart.
Right.
That is the word of faith which we preach.
We preaching the belief in the Lord. And when you said Jesus Christ, are you talking about this man?
Yeah.
I know. Well, look, that's not who you believe in. All right? Go to the book of Revelation chapter 1. Give me Daniel 10 and 5. You're going to find out. Everybody in the earth in the last days is going to find out that this is not the real image of Jesus Christ. And his name is not Jesus. All right? This is a lie set up by the so-called white man to promote white supremacy and to instill his fear in your mind.
That's right.
All right, bring that up. Revelation 1 and 14.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 14.
Right?
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Read that. This is a description of the Messiah. His what?
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
As white as snow. He had white woolly hair. What race of people have woolly hair? Black people. That's perfect woolly hair you got. What kind of hair is that?
Not black.
That's not black
Not
people
woolly.
hair. Not woolly. Stringy hair. And it said his hair was white as snow. That's not white hair.
Is it like gold and wisdom?
Yeah. You said what?
Like old, like white wisdom.
Right. That's right. Go on.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
And this man don't have red eyes. All right? He got baby blue eyes. Read on.
And his feet.
And his what?
And his feet.
His feet is his skin color. If you took your shoes and socks off your feet, your skin color would be the same as the top of your feet, right? His feet, like into what?
Like into fine brass.
Like into what?
Fine brass.
What color is brass?
Like brown.
Like brown, right? Hold on now. Okay, it's not adding up. Let's see how dark this brown was. Go on.
As if they burned in the furnace.
How dark was he?
As if they burned in the
The
furnace.
Messiah was so dark it looked like he got burnt in the furnace. That's it. Hold on. She don't believe us. She don't believe us. We want to bring that out. Give me John.
Is it 4?
14. Bring out John chapter 1, verse 14.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow.
Hey, she ain't seen that before. Somebody give me Daniel 10 and 5, Daniel 7 and 9, Psalm of Solomon 1 and 5, Job 30 and 30, Jeremiah 14 and 2. Shut them all out. Come on, we're going to show you colors in the Bible. Colors in the Bible. Whether people want to believe it or not, we're going to show you that color is found in the Bible.
That's right.
Give me Daniel 10 and 5.
Daniel chapter 10 and verse 5.
Here's another description of who you call Jesus Christ, whose real name is Yahweh Shai. It's in the Bible. Here's another description. Yahweh Shai, go on.
And I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen.
He was clothed in fine linen. They had a long garment on, like this brother.
Yeah.
Linen, go on.
Whose loins were girded with fine gold of Euphaz.
He had a golden...
Malaysia. Stay over here with me, mommy.
Whose loins were girded with fine gold of Euphaz.
So who they call Jesus Christ? He had a fine golden girdle on. Go on.
His body also was like the beryl.
And he had a green garment on. So instead of this color, it was all green like my shirt. A little darker. Go on.
And his face as the appearance of lightning.
He had a powerful countenance behind his face. Go on.
And his eyes as lamps of fire.
Read on.
And his arms and his feet.
His what?
And his arms and his feet.
Like looking at his arms, and if this man had sandals on. His arms and his feet, like what?
Like in color to polished brass.
Like in color to what?
To polished brass.
To polished brass. That's brass burnt in a furnace. That's another account in the Bible. Now, how come your Christian pastor's not telling you that the Messiah is a black man? How come that's not on the 700 Club? Or T.D. Jakes not talking about that? Or Joel Osteen? They're not going into these verses to show that the Israelites are so-called black people. Hispanics and Native Americans. They don't want to put that out there because they want you to stay asleep. They don't want you to be able to associate and see yourself in the Bible.
That's right.
That's why when you said, I have to accept Jesus, you was really, whether you know it or not to get on you, you was talking about that man right there. You talking about the so-called white man.
That's right.
That's what you was talking about because you think that Jesus is white. Right? And a lot of our people, they look at the so-called white man like he's God and Jesus. He's the one that gives them food. He's the one that gives them houses. He's the one that gives them water. He's the one that allow them to live in certain places. He regulates what you do, just like the so-called, just like God would regulate what you do.
But I knew he wasn't white because he had hair and wool, but I didn't know like it went to describe his color and that he was burnt like the furnace. That part I didn't know.
Oh yeah, that's what we out
I was doubting whether he was like, I was just doubting a lot of stuff about the Bible.
Well, that's why we out here. That's why we out here, sister. Now, if who they call Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai, is a so-called black man, what would the Father look like?
The same as us.
Let's prove it though. What if somebody said prove it? Give me Daniel 7 and 9. All right. What if somebody said prove it? Well, we gotta prove it. Everything that we go through, we want to read it out of the Bible. We're not going to make up our own words. We don't have a collection played out here. Brother don't have drums, a trumpet, an organ. We're not up here for a show. This is to give our people the words of life. In these last days, if you do not return back to the truth, you're going to get destroyed.
That's right.
All right, bring it up.
The book of Daniel, 7 verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down.
Go on.
And the Ancient of Days did sit.
Daniel saw God sitting on the throne. Go on.
Whose garment was white as snow.
Whose what?
Whose garment was white as snow.
So all white garment. So God has a physical body, right? Up there in the third heaven, one of the heavens. Go on.
And the hair of his head like the pure wool.
Read that again.
And the hair of his head like the pure wool.
That pure woolly hair you got, same woolly hair that God has. So what would God be? Black, according to the Bible. That's in there, man. That's in there. So when you pray to the Heavenly Father, you gotta get this image out of our mind. That's right. You gotta kick that out. That's why we step on this image. Right, Shalom, sister. Right, we step on that image. Yeah, you can step on this. Right, like he owe us some money, man. Right, well, you know. But not like he owe us some money. You know what, sister? Hold on, you can step on it.
I get it.
There you go, you can step on it. There you go. Hold on, sister, you ain't step on it though. I've seen that. There you go. Come here, sir. Put me on your So what? We can write them down for you. Somebody got a pen and pad and paper. We can write the verses down for you. Right, we're gonna write them all down for you so you can go home and look it up. Give me Acts 17. Hello, Yehudi. Right? Give me Songs of Solomon 1 and 5. You heard of King David? You know one of his sons was King Solomon. Let's see what King Solomon looked like in the Bible. First, give me Acts 17 in the Bible.
The book of Acts, the 17, verse 11.
Go on.
These were more noble than those in Thessalonica.
Right, you had Israelites, they were more noble than those in Thessalonica. Go on.
In that they received the word with all readiness of mind.
With all readiness of mind. Right now, y'all are up here receiving the word with all readiness of mind, meaning you're attentive. But what else do you have to do? Go on.
And search the scriptures daily.
And do what?
And search the scriptures daily.
To do what?
Whether those things were so.
Whether those things were so. So whatever he's bringing out to you, you have to go home and search and see what he's bringing out if it's true or not. We're going to be up here making it up. Right? So you will write the verses down, you can go home and search the scriptures and go through the pages and say, okay, yeah, that's true. Okay, that's true. Okay, let me start reading more. Alright, that's what you want to do as a noble person. Alright? Bring that out real quick.
It's the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 5.
King David, one of his sons, his description is in the Bible. Go on.
I am black.
Hold on, I am what?
I am black.
That's in the Bible?
I am black.
King Solomon?
I am black.
So the world gonna find out that the Israelites are black in the last days. Right? King Solomon was a so-called black man. Go on.
But comely.
Comely means handsome. Go on.
O ye daughters of Jerusalem.
Right?
As the tents of Kedar.
Go on.
As the curtains of Solomon.
There you have it. King Solomon, so-called black man. Give me Jeremiah 14 and 2.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof language.
Jews are mourning. Our leadership ain't here. Go on.
And the gates thereof language.
Right?
They are black.
What color are the Jews?
They are black.
They are black. This in the Bible. Now how come they don't show us that? That's not on T. That's not on B. Isn't BET Black Entertainment Television? But they're not going and showing us that God is a black man. You didn't see Ezekiel 1 and 7. Or that the Messiah is a so-called black man. Or King Solomon or King David. Right? That the people of the Bible is us. They're not showing us that. Right? That's what all of these brothers are waking up and knowing who we are. Right? Let me know if you can read that.
Job, Jeremiah, Song of Solomon, Revelation. I can read it.
All right. Bring it up. Don't lose that.
Oh, I'm not.
You got a Bible?
Yeah.
Okay. King James? King James?
Yeah.
All right, there you have it. Bring it up.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 2.
Come here.
Bring it
Listen to
out.
this. Bring it up.
Judah mourneth.
What the Lord say?
Judah mourneth.
Hey, y'all hear that? Y'all hear that, brothers? Judah mourneth. Go on.
And the gates thereof language.
Read.
They are black.
What color are the people?
They are black.
What color are the Jews?
They are black.
That's in the Bible?
They are black.
Until what?
Unto the ground.
Read.
And the cry of Jerusalem has gone up.
So y'all gonna find out that the people of the Bible are black. Moses, Aaron, Noah, Enoch, Adam. Right? There you go, sister. Alright? Look that up. Look that up. Alright. Brother, you got any questions? Points?
No, I'm good.
You good? You know you're an Israelite though.
Yes, I do.
Alright, what tribe?
Judah.
Alright, there you have it, brother. Alright, you gotta do what? What you gotta do in these last days?
Proclaiming, do what the Lord wants me to do.
And what's that?
Do his will. Walk in his way. Do his works.
I mean, what are some of the words?
Doing what y'all doing.
Alright. Give me. You slid in there. You got in there, brother. You slid in there. Proverbs 7 and 1.
What's the day?
Right. Proverbs chapter 7 and 1. Alright, Proverbs 7 and 1.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 7 and verse 1.
Brother, you got any questions? Come listen, brother. We out here for you. We ain't gonna fight you. Alright, we just listen. Alright, bring it on. Jake on the side.
My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee.
Right?
Keep my commandments and live.
What the Lord say?
Keep my commandments and live.
That's what you gotta do, brother. In order to live, you gotta keep the commandments. Now, what is so special about today? What's that? The Sabbath, right? Right, Shabbat Shalom. So what you supposed to be doing? Or not doing? What can't you do on the Sabbath? That's a better question.
You shouldn't work at all, cook all this stuff.
I can't hear you, bro. You gotta speak up.
You shouldn't work, cook, do any type of work when they're there.
Work, cook, what else?
Any type of works.
All right, Nehemiah 13. All right, let's find out. All right, Nehemiah 13. I mean, 10 to 31, slide. 10 to 31. All right.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 10, verse 31.
Right.
And if the people of the land bring ware of any victual on the Sabbath day to sell.
So you had Hamites, Africans, saying, we're going to get them to go off, man. We want these Israelites to sin. We know it's a Sabbath, right? But we're going to come on it. Since you got to get out, you got to separate from the white man.
You got to do better.
You say what? She got to separate from you according to the Bible. Dead, it's not dead. That's what the Lord. You a dead man walking. All right, you a dead. Why you want to be black so bad?
Black man.
Why you want to be black so bad? Why you want to be black so bad, man? Why you want to be black so bad? Get out of here, man. Get out of here, man. You a joke. You a damn joke, man. You a joke. And sister, you a joke for defending him. Cool. That's right. You a cool.
Don't bring your ass back around here, white boy.
That's right. Jay, he a big fraud. Yeah, fraud. He a fraud. He's an imposter. He's an imposter. Yeah, well. All right, go back to that, man. Come on.
The book of Nehemiah, 10 verse 31.
Yeah, you got Edomite bloods out here, man. Throwing up gang signs. He said he was a Crip. He said he was a Crip.
He's a Hoover.
Oh my gosh. Look, bro, he's an Edomite. The wicked shall do wickedly. None of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand.
Right? The book of Nehemiah, chapter 10 verse 31. And the people of the land bring ware of any victual on the Sabbath day to sell.
So they were trying to get us to buy on the Sabbath day. Right? People from Tyre and Zidon. Ancient Africans. Huh? Nehemiah, chapter. All right, verse 31. Go on.
That we will not buy it of them on the Sabbath.
That we will what?
Not buy it of them on the Sabbath.
You can't buy anything on the Sabbath, brother. You hear that? Brother. Look. Well, you got to pay attention to the words of life. Right. That we will not what?
Buy it on the Sabbath.
You can't buy on the Sabbath. What you got to do?
Wait.
Huh?
Till after the Sabbath.
You got to wait till after the Sabbath. You got to repent. You got to ask the Heavenly Father to forgive you that sin. And then you get all of your stuff in advance.
Or on the holy day.
Or on any holy day, like the Passover. Right? Or like the first day of the Feast of Tabernacles. Right? Or the new moon. Go on.
And that we will leave the seventh year. The exaction of every debt.
Right, so they have to keep the law when you let them go at the year Jubilee and at the end of 7 years. All right, you got any questions? What's your nationality, man?
I'm from Ethiopia.
That's right, bro. Well, this word is for the Israelites according to the Bible. Ethiopia. Right. This word is for the Israelites. All right. God only loves us. All right. No Cushites allowed. That's right. Israelites only. That's right. No Cushites. No Cushites. Right. What you got, brother?
My twin brother.
Or can you say what?
My twin brother. When I tell him we are the children of God, we are the Hebrew Israelites, he tried to bring in, well, you know that our ancestors had children by white men. So I was telling him, from what I know, we are back in through the 3rd or 4th generation, but I'm not clear on clear understanding on that. So I'm trying to figure out how to explain to him, even though our ancestors were molested and raped and so forth, we still the children of Judah.
Give me some right. Give me Isaiah real quick, 49 and 13. Let me get Sirach first, 37 and 25. All right, get Sirach 37 and 25 first. Whoever got it. All right, Sirach chapter 37 and 25.
Sirach chapter 37 was a white guy.
Who told you that?
I know it from my lineage. I have a family tree.
On your father's side?
No, on my mother's side. Right. 3rd grade.
Well, how is your genealogy determined?
I believe it's through the seed of the father.
Well, that's what's in
but
the
then
Bible.
you got people saying on YouTube, that's how I found you guys, are saying, well, it's through the seed of the mother. Jesus came through Mary. So,
the book of Numbers, the 1 verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day, on the 2nd month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers.
By the what?
By the house of their fathers.
There you have it, brother.
Numbers 1 and 18?
Numbers 1 and 18. Sirach 37, 25.
Sirach chapter 37 and verse 25.
Go on.
The days of the life of man may be numbered.
Right, man, you don't live too long. About 80 years old, according to the Bible. Maybe 100. Go on.
But the days of Israel are innumerable.
But the what?
But the days of Israel are innumerable.
We always gonna be here, brother. Ain't no fading away the Israelites. Right? The Lord has a seed according to the election of grace. All right? There's always a remnant. Bring that out in Romans 11 and 7. And bring that out. What you over? 4:16, Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 16.
Go on.
There's no end of all the people.
What the Lord say?
There's no end of all the people.
Right, they'll say, well, your great-grandfather was white and we all mixed up and ain't no more Israelites on earth. We all mixed. The Lord said there is no end of all the people. All of the nations from the very beginning, they still here right now. If you understand regeneration, they always going to come back on the earth no matter what. The ancient Moabite is still here. Look at the Moabite. Get the Moabite on camera. Right? The ancient Edomites are still here. Get the Edomites on camera. The Cushites are here. Right? All the Hamites are here. I'm not sure who Hamites are. I'm not sure. But all, it might be Benjamin. But all of the Israelites are still here today. Even the Edomites are here. Right. Alright, they're Edomites. Everybody's still here. Alright?
I was just watching your comment on the back and now, like when he was talking about Elias and John the Baptist and Jesus, how he told it, said, is that John the Baptist that he talked about?
Right. Give me that's right. Go to Romans 11 and 7.
The book of Romans, chapter 11 and verse 7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it.
But the what?
But the election hath obtained it.
The elect are the 1/3 of the Israelites. We've obtained what we sought for. Who are we seeking for? The truth. For the knowledge. For Yahweh Shai. The election have obtained it and what?
And the rest were blinded.
And the what?
And the rest were blinded.
Everybody else was blinded. Alright, that's what they can't get. The Israelites are still here because they're the remnant according to the election of grace. That's right. Alright? Answer your question, brother. Does that answer your question? Perfect. Alright, any other questions? Comments? Complaints? Alright, go to finish 1 Thessalonians. Alright, First Thessalonians. If I can get it. Alright, get it. Yeah. Bring it out. Verse 4? Yeah.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 4.
Bring it out.
But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief.
Right, y'all shouldn't be in darkness. That day when the Lord comes back, y'all should understand the bleeding signs. All right, give me Luke 12 and 54 and Luke 21 and 29. Everybody else, when the Lord comes back, it's going to be like in darkness. When all hell break loose, it's going to be caught. People going to be caught with their pants pulled down, for lack of better terms. All right, bring that up. You look at Luke. Hold on, what you got?
I want to ask y'all about the head wraps on the live day. But the brother had already answered me earlier.
Okay, all right, well, that's good. All right, all praise.
The book of Luke 12 verse 54, right? And he said also to a people, when he see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway he say, there cometh a shower, and so it is.
All right, what does that mean, brothers?
I ain't even ham. I'm not even ham.
All right, bring it out again. We gotta listen to the words of life, man.
And he said also to a people, when he see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway he say, there cometh a shower, and so it is.
What does that mean?
Listening to y'all, I think that might mean a chariot. Chariot.
Nope. Not quite. What you say, brother? What you say? What that mean, Malachi? Right, it says when you see a cloud, break it down, right? Bring it out.
It's saying when you see a cloud coming out of the west, like that's just let you know that there's rain coming. Right. So you should observe the times the same way to understand when the Most High coming back.
There you have it. You see a big rain cloud coming. You know, you don't get ready to go to the beach. Right. You get your umbrella, you get your rain boots on, you switch your plans up, you call, look, I can't make it out, it's gonna rain, whatever. So you should study the way that you understand how this world operates, you should apply it to these signs of the times. That's right. Like Ariah was going to go on.
Verse 54, and he said also to verse 55, and when he see the south wind blow, he says, there will be heat, and it comes to pass.
Right, just like if you were to turn on the Weather Channel and you see it's going to be 70 degrees, then 72 degrees, then 79 degrees, then 80 degrees, then 90 degrees. That's a heat wave coming. You know that, so okay, let me get myself together for this heat wave. Let me buy water. All right, go on.
He hypocrites, he can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how it is that he did not discern this time.
So the same way that people can understand how this world operates, you should be able to understand when the Lord is coming back, based off of the signs that you see. Right. What signs do we see that's happening that lets us know that the Lord is coming back? Right. Go to Luke chapter 21. You saying war? That's right, war. That's another sign.
People's parents and parents fighting their kids.
Right. Give me that verse, Timothy.